This city should not exist. Not because it is hidden, not because it is ancient, but because it was engineered inside a mountain with a precision that modern machines still struggle to replicate. Long before satellites, before electricity, before steel drills, before laser cutters, there was Petra, a city carved directly into solid rock, not built. And what you are about to see may force you to question everything. You were taught about the ancient world. Between the burning deserts of southern Jordan lies a canyon so narrow, so tall and so silent that even today, sunlight barely touches the ground. The ancients called it the Sick, a natural corridor twisting through mountains like a hidden gateway. Walk through it, and suddenly the rock walls open, and there it is. A towering facade rising from the stone. Perfect columns, flawless symmetry. Edges so straight they look machine-cut. This is the treasury of Petra, and it should not exist. How did an ancient civilization carve a 40-meter-high monument directly into a mountain? With stone tools? With copper chisels? Without steel? Without machines? Without electricity? Without power tools? Modern engineers admit something uncomfortable. Even with cranes, even with drills, even with diamond-cutting tools. And yet, Petra stands. Perfect. Petra was not an accident. It was not random. It was designed, engineered, planned, and its secrets go far deeper than its stone walls. The Nabateans, the civilization credited with Petra, were not simple desert traders. They were master engineers, hydraulic experts, astronomers, urban planners. They built a city where rainfall was rare, yet Petra never ran out of water. They carved channels into rock walls to capture flash floods. They created underground cisterns capable of storing millions of liters of water. They controlled floods. They controlled drought. They controlled life in the desert. This was not primitive. This was advanced desert engineering. Petra was not carved randomly. It was carved as a system. Every canyon, every staircase, every channel was placed with purpose. Petra behaves like a living machine, a machine that controls water, temperature, light, sound, and movement. The Nabateans understood something most civilizations never did. In the desert, water is more valuable than gold, so they did not chase rivers. They created them. They carved thousands of meters of channels directly into the mountain walls. They sealed them with hydraulic plaster, so smooth it remains, waterproof after 2,000 years. They built underground cisterns larger than Olympic swimming pools. They built dams inside canyons to stop flash floods. They harvested rain from every possible surface. Petra was a city that manufactured water, not gathered. Manufactured. Modern engineers who study. Petra still struggled to explain how its flood control system works so perfectly. When storms hit the mountains, Petra does not flood. The water is diverted into hidden channels, slowed by stone filters, stored in massive underground reservoirs, and released only when needed. This is smart infrastructure, designed 2,000 years before the concept existed. But Petra's technology does not end with water. The city is aligned to the sky. On the winter solstice, sunlight enters specific chambers. On equinox days, shadows trace perfect lines across carved altars. Petra was a calendar, an observatory, a cosmic machine carved in stone. Petra was not only functional, it was symbolic. Temples, tombs, and monuments were carved into the mountains not to hide, but to become part of the mountain itself. Petra did not fight nature. It merged with it. That is why Petra still stands. But as trade routes collapsed, Petra's power faded. Earthquakes damaged channels. Cisterns cracked. Water systems failed. The machine began to shut down. And when the machine stopped, the city died. Sand slowly swallowed Petra. Wind erased footsteps. The Sick Canyon closed its gates. Petra became legend, a city that disappeared. But Petra was not destroyed. It was paused, waiting. Now, artificial intelligence allows us to reverse the pause. We can rebuild its systems digitally. We can simulate its water networks. We can see Petra breathe again, but something else becomes clear. Petra was not just advanced. Petra was far ahead of its time. And the more we reconstruct it, the more uncomfortable the truth becomes. The deeper researchers study Petra, the more the story becomes uncomfortable. Because Petra does not behave like a primitive city. It behaves like an engineered system. Its measurements follow mathematical symmetry. Its channels follow optimized flow paths. Its reservoirs follow perfect capacity planning. Petra was not guessed. It was calculated. The Nabateans did not simply carve rock. They shaped geometry. Their monuments use ratios that appear again and again in advanced architecture, the same ratios that modern engineers use to design stable structures. Petra's facades are not decorative. They are mathematically balanced, designed to distribute weight, designed to survive earthquakes. And that is why Petra is still standing. But Petra's greatest mystery lies deeper inside the mountain. Hidden corridors, sealed chambers, stone-cut tunnels. Some of these chambers were carved and then deliberately sealed. Not collapsed, not destroyed. Sealed, as if something was intentionally locked away. In several chambers, unusual acoustic properties exist. Whisper on one side of the room, and your voice travels perfectly to the opposite wall. Stone chambers that behave like sound devices. Why would an ancient city need acoustic engineering? Then there are the altars, perfectly aligned, perfectly placed. On specific days, sunlight strikes their centers like a laser beam. No randomness, no accident. Precision. Petra does not look like a religious city. It looks like a machine disguised as a city that processed water, light, sound, and movement. A city that behaved like a system. And that raises a dangerous question. Were the Nabateans truly responsible for all of this? Or did they inherit knowledge from something older? Something forgotten? Something erased? Because Petra did not rise slowly. It appeared already advanced. Fully planned, fully designed, fully engineered. As if someone handed them the blueprint. Petra may not be the beginning of its own story. It may be the continuation of something older, something deeper, something lost. Petra did not evolve the way most cities do. There are no signs of early, crude construction, no rough starter settlements, no primitive building phases. Petra appears in history as a finished system, planned, calculated, precise, as if it was executed from a master blueprint. Civilizations normally grow. Petra arrived complete. This alone separates Petra from almost every ancient city on Earth. The water network alone proves this. You cannot slowly invent a citywide hydraulic grid. It must be designed before the first stone is cut. Channels had to align. Reservoirs had to match flow capacity. Dams had to be positioned for flash flood control. Petra was carved according to a system that already existed. This suggests something uncomfortable. The Nabateans may not have invented Petra. They may have activated it, maintained it, inherited it. This would explain the sealed chambers, the unexplained tunnels, the sudden appearance of advanced infrastructure. Petra may be a recovered city, not an invented one. History books do not address this, because it would force a rewrite of ancient timelines. It would force us to accept that advanced knowledge existed and vanished long before modern civilization. Petra is not just ancient. Petra is inconvenient. Now, AI reconstruction reveals something else. When Petra is digitally rebuilt, the city's layout behaves like an optimized machine. Flow models, stress models, light models, everything aligns. Nothing is random. Petra is not a ruin. It is a paused system, a machine carved in stone, waiting. Every civilization leaves a message, sometimes written in books, sometimes in monuments, sometimes in ruins. Petra left its message in stone, a message hidden inside a mountain. The deeper we rebuild Petra, the clearer the message becomes. This city was not created to impress. It was created to function, to manage water, to manage climate, to manage survival in a hostile environment. Petra proves something uncomfortable. Advanced engineering does not belong to the modern world alone. It existed before, and it was lost. Petra's disappearance was not dramatic. There was no burning empire, No final battle. The machine simply stopped. Water channels cracked. Reservoirs dried. Trade routes moved. And without its systems, Petra could not live. So it went silent. The city did not fall. It powered down. And now, thousands of years later, technology powers it back on. Not physically, digitally. We rebuild Petra in light. We restore its systems in code. We reactivate its geometry. We simulate its water networks. We walk its staircases again. Petra was not erased by enemies. It was erased by time. But time does not delete systems. It only pauses them. Petra is not history. Petra is evidence. Evidence that humanity once touched knowledge it does not remember. And the mountain is still standing, still waiting, still holding its secret. This city should not exist, but it does. And that changes everything.